was all in black and these black squares, and their proximity, yet the distant connection to one another, just gave me a really eerie feeling. It reminded me that something similar to everybody sitting on the subway, all connected to their devices. We're sitting right beside each other. Our shoulders are almost touching, but it's like we're worlds apart. And it just gave me like this idea of forms of control, to keep us in boxes or keep us distant. And this feeling like we all need to endure the structures of society that keep us close yet apart.
Capturing a feeling that I think every one of us has experienced at some point in their lives, probably multiple times in their lives, maybe every day, which is the feeling of having a shared experience with people you were not connected to, and just that feeling of impatience and waiting, and how every person is having their own unique experience in that moment. I automatically, connected it to like an audition room, like an audition waiting room, where the energy is so palpable in the room. There's like nerves, there's excitement, there's all sorts of things. And everybody there is in their own head processing what is going on. Whether it's thinking about something from the past, nervous about something in the future, but they're all waiting for something, and they're all having this collective experience. But yet none of them are actually connected to each other. So I think it was really cool, and just seeing the different reactions and the different movements kind of as time goes on, as they're kept waiting, and the way that the dancers use the space that they've been given. Very cool. I think that the music did a really good job of building tension as well. And the editing too, like there was a little bit of almost like kind of creepiness to it, with kind of the flashes in and out, and it was a cool piece, and I really liked watching it.
I really enjoyed watching them dance in groups and pairs. I felt like that worked really well. It kept us engaged, and just like always watching them all together. I also felt like all the cuts and scene changes really worked well to keep us engaged and interested. We're constantly wondering where they were going to be next, what place we were going to see, who we were going to see next, and I felt like that was a great way to keep the audience's attention. I also felt like the movement was very wide and powerful. It was definitely demanded our attention. I think that worked really well. I think it did a fantastic job in telling the story.
I thought this was a cool concept. I liked the way they really just simplified things, used just sort of the speed of the motion to kind of almost make you feel like you're waiting there with them, but then they also had this really high impact energy to sort of contrast that. I just thought all in all it was a smart concept. It's executed really well.
I really liked how this was filmed. The kind of way that they played with time, where things were obviously like sped up and then they slowed things down dramatically. I feel like if you're in a waiting room, sometimes it does feel like that, depending on what type of waiting room and why you're there. Either it can go by very quickly, or it can just seem to drag on. I also liked that they did so many different dynamic things with the shapes that they were making, and like the boxes that they were using as the chairs. I thought all of that was really, really creative and really lent itself well to the concept.
I think the highest compliment that I can pay to Waiting Room was that I didn't even know what the title was, but certainly felt that angst and impatience, and yet ironic unified camaraderie that is unspoken and in this case exists in the form of dance. I credit Didier Moyeras for not only putting together the cinematography but also the choreography and editing, and the performance of all the dancers. It struck very many nerves with everything that we've all felt in every dental waiting office, doctor's waiting office, anything that anybody anywhere has ever had to sit through in a room full of people that they're really not supposed to talk to. And now more than ever, the waiting room has become more of a dangerous and thematic element in our lives. So I think it's very topical and timely. And but I really appreciated the tension among all of the dancers. I really felt their unified impatience and aggravation. And if you notice, the longer that they're made to wait, the more aggressive the dance becomes. And I think that the audience can definitely empathize with that.
I loved the use of so many people in one space. 15 dancers, I think the description said, after I read it. I loved the choice of shooting this in black and white. I loved the visual of the boxes and how they kept changing, how the configuration of the boxes kept changing. It was weird to me. Like, as I was watching it, I was like, this is called waiting room. And when you're sitting in a waiting room, right, and you're quiet and you're still and you're not trying to draw attention to yourself and everyone's sort of spaced out, and yet because people are going in and out of, let's say, a doctor's office, let's say it's a waiting room in a doctor's office, people are going in and out. The room changes even though the chairs stay the same. And that's what this felt like to me, that the room kept changing, the dynamic and the energy of the room kept shifting. And the moving around of the boxes was evocative of that for me. I don't know, I really liked it. I loved the way it was shot. The lighting was beautiful. The dancers were gorgeous, just really, all of them. It's hard to get 15 people to stay constantly invested in a story you're trying to tell in one room. It was really well done. Beautifully directed, beautifully shot, beautifully choreographed. Congratulations. It was awesome.